Saturday. This is my very first live ever on YouTube. I have spent the last decade going live on Facebook and all of the other places, but I'm really trying to build my YouTube audience and share all of my best stuff over here. So if you're new here, I'm Sarah and I'm a vintage reseller in Michigan, and I do lots of Goodwill trips, thrifting hauls, tips and tricks if you have an antique booth or you're an online seller. I do both. So if you're catching me live, great. It's Saturday morning here in Michigan. It is beautiful, but it's very hot. And if you're not catching me live and you're on the replay, please say hello. Okay, so I hit up probably 10 or 12 garage sales, an estate sale, a couple thrift stores. Let me just say I had a week of vintage shopping. So I'm going to start with this little table and then move you over to another table. I'm in the process, after I thrift, I usually do a haul video either here or on TikTok under Brass Bunny Vintage. And then I start kind of just going through. I take everything that needs to be cleaned and I take it inside and I clean it, or I polish it up with Brasso, anything like that. And then I start just taking photographs and getting it either tagged to put in my booth, or I list it in my Etsy shop. So let me show you what I have. This is my brass table. I scored big on brass this week and I'm just so freaking happy. Hi, Kim. I recognize you. Hello. I was hoping that somebody that I knew would jump on because I'm so new to this platform. Okay, let me show you my favorite brass thing that I picked up. If you know, you know. First of all, this is probably 10 pounds. It's like a brass magazine rack. I sold one of these on one of my platforms, either eBay or Etsy, last summer for a lot of money. And it was not even in this great of condition. So I was super happy about this little girl. I also found lots of brass candlesticks. Here's the thing, when you're shopping for brass or you're shopping for candlesticks, it's better if you can find a set. However, I would say with brass or fine china, things like that, you can get away with just one. But if you can find a set, that's even better. These are great. They have the Baldwin brass stamp on the bottom and they're heavy. I also heard a tip for brass. I think it's that brass, nothing like magnetic will stick to it. So if you're somebody who's thrifting or you're shopping at garage sales, if you take like a little magnet with you, a magnet will never stick to true brass. I think that is the fact there. Here's another set. I also found this cute little brass bowl, not quite a bowl, like almost like a, oh gosh, words are failing me because I'm live, but I just loved this little pot. That is the word I'm looking for. I found a little brass apple bell. This one had like the sticker tags on it, so I'm gonna have to definitely take that in and clean it. And brass is one of those things where I will put some of it in my booth, but most of the time brass goes online, or it just decorates my home while I'm waiting for it to sell. Hi, Marilyn. But a lot of this will be going in my Etsy shop over this weekend. I was super happy to find this, not only because I love these sets, but I got it at such a good deal. And it's all still in the packaging. So let me show you. Here's the back. And it's almost like that plastic coated. Oh, it's so pretty. And then, of course, it has like the fancy matching comb. I'm actually working on refinishing an old vintage vanity right now. So I'm probably going to, I'll put this in one of my shops. I'll probably put it in my Etsy. And then what I'll do is when I get my vanity done, I will probably just take it and use it to be set up with the vanity in my booth. I got this gorgeous little piece. I kept this on because it has the Made in Italy, but just some Italian brass lacquer. Love these. They only had one. They didn't have two, but again, I feel like this is a piece that someone could buy and just kind of put anywhere for just a touch. Made in Italy. We love that. Found this little brass basket at the Thrift. Again, when I buy brass, I really like to keep it just patina. This is very clean. This is very clean. You know that if you buy brass. Sometimes it can come really rough. Depending on the roughness, because I like the patina of brass, I will leave it and just state that in my Etsy, like, hey, this is heavily patinaed, you can clean it. And then sometimes if it's a little too rough, I will use a little Brasso in my kitchen sink and just kind of work it and polish it up. But this is actually very clean for brass. I also got this really cute filigree brass, like a little, I think they're like little appetizer trays. I don't know if you're more versed in this. I did Google Lens it, but I don't remember everything. But I know it's got a full set, so that's an excellent condition. But I believe they're like little appetizer trays. They're very tiny. So, and they're definitely not coasters because of the shape, but I love this little set. Filigree brass Kleenex holder. We love that. And this is something really cute that I've actually not spotted out in the wild. It's a little brass. It's heavy. And it's a, see that? It's a little music stand, but it's a photo album. They put some photos in it, but it's a little photo album. And I just thought, I don't know, I thought that was adorable and I had to grab it. So I think that is, and I have more brass over here. So I'm going to actually, and hopefully you can hear me. I have my mic on. I'm out in my barn and I have great lighting and all of that out here, but like lots of cars and stuff go by. So I put my mic on. Okay, let me move you over to this table and show you. I'm kind of set up out here in my barn. I have a vintage market next month. So in the nice months, like September, October, possibly November in Michigan, I don't know. I do fall barn markets here in my barn. So my husband built me walls and I finished a hutch. I've got this little cute table that matches it. So I'm kind of setting up because it's in less than a month and it's just a lot of work. If you've ever done a market in your own home or anything like that, you know, it can be crazy. Okay, let me show you what else I got. Let's continue with brass. I have more brass over here. I had a lady at a garage sale and she had stacks and stacks of these oval brass frames, brand new. And I grabbed like the whole stack. So I have a whole stack of those. Those will probably go online. Actually, brass frames are one of those things that I used to pass up because I'm like, these are so old. And then I ended up getting a big lot of them one time and they sold like so fast for me. And now every time I see them, I grab them. This, who can tell me what this is? Thank God for Google Lens. This, I believe, is it's a chimney something. And now I can't think of the name, but you use it to like do something in your chimney, but it's heavy and it's brass. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to buy it now and I'm going to figure it out later. So that's what this is. Here's some other things. This is not brass, kind of moving into other things, but this was really cool. I'm going to have to clean this. You can see it's very dusty, but like, wow, what a cool piece. Something like this will probably go in my booth. It's very sensitive and it's not something that I really want to deal with shipping, especially there's a mirror here that obviously needs a lot of love and Windex. But what a cool piece. This is a great booth piece that I will not put in the shop because I don't want to ship it. And that's one of the reasons that I tell people, like, you should have a booth if you love antiques and vintage, if there's a good place to have a booth, because that's important too. But if you can find a good shop and have a booth, it's great for things you don't want to ship, large pieces of art, if you do furniture like I do, and just, you know, retail pricing. I don't know if it's as good as online pricing, but it's better than selling it on Facebook Marketplace. And you can just put it in a booth, drop it off, and pick up your check at the end of the month and not have to worry about it the rest of the time. So that is nice. I also picked up this little, I have my mic on, but I'm sure you still heard that motorcycle. I picked up this cute little vintage apothecary jar rack. So it had the rack, it had all the jars. None of them are cracked or broken, and I think that's adorable. This will be going on my Etsy shop. Any kinds of these little cabinets or even apothecary jars on my Etsy, they do so well. They do so well. This probably, I might just put this in my booth just because it's cute and I feel like it's something that somebody would be just pick up, quick grab and go, but I just think it's cute. Okay, I'm like a 2-year-old vintage reseller. So I'm still learning. I'm learning every day. I love it. It's one thing I love about vintage reselling is just there's so much research and knowledge. But when I walked up to the table at this garage sale, I knew these were from the 70s. Look at these. They're not cracked, they're not chipped, they're not broke. Oh my gosh. These are definitely hand painted. I did do comps on them. These are going to go in my Etsy shop. However, now I also am thinking maybe I'll put them in my booth because, you know, it's fall in my booth. And these have kind of a fall vibe. These are kind of, I thought these were really cool though. Also, if you're watching this, because I'm going to continue to do more of these, or you're on TikTok and you're watching a haul, if it's recent and it's not in my Etsy shop yet, or it's something I maybe was going to take to my booth that I can ship, and you're interested, just like send me a message or reply on here, and I'm happy to give you a good deal and send it out to you. I just love stuff like this for my booth. I'm not going to put these online. They were just 2 old spools and they had all the stuff on them. And I just think these make great little bowl fillers, or like I actually bought this little Robinson or Yeah, like the Robinson, the Roseville crock. I bought this pitcher and I actually just like put them in here and carried them out. And I thought it kind of just looks cute like that. So I grabbed that. I actually went to an estate sale, but it was set up like a garage sale, which means that they weren't like price gouging the crap out of everybody at the estate sale. And I found so much good stuff. I love these. I might keep this one for my kitchen. I just love these old copper molds. We've got the fish, and then I've got the grape. So I thought these were fun. Again, this would be something this time of year I would put in my Etsy. Lady for a couple bucks gave me a bunch of Nancy Drew books. These will probably go in my booth. I think, again, they're just little books like this, especially like the Nancy Drew and the Hardy Boys. They're books that people will just grab and go for, I don't price them super high. Good deal there. Okay, this is cute. I'll probably put this in my booth because it's got fall colors, but it's just very cute. And it's just a little key hook. Love that. I got this at a garage sale and I thought this was so cool. And I got it for pretty cheap, extremely clean. Doesn't even look like it was used, just an old vintage sewing bag. No rips, no stains. It's not torn anywhere. We love that. I love it. This is going to go in my booth. I don't really think they're worth a ton, but I just know growing up that my grandma, everyone in my family like had these little paper mache angels. And I got a little bag of two, and I just thought those are just something fun to put in my booth during the holiday time that are nostalgic and somebody will probably grab. All right, let me move down the table here. If you're still on, welcome. This is my very first YouTube live. I've been a creator in the online space for over a decade, but now that I do vintage, I'm mainly just on TikTok and YouTube, so welcome. Okay, I picked this up. This is probably going to go to my booth because it's amber glass. I try to fill my booth with a lot of amber glass and green glass like this time of the year. It has the lid and there's no chips or cracking. I see these a lot out in the wild, but something's always broken on it. So when I can find one that's not broken, I'm very happy. These are kind of cool. I actually found a set of 4 at the estate sale. Look at these. They're like, I think they're like little hot pad trivets. They're very vintage. I'm going to put these probably in my Etsy shop, but I have a set of 4 and they're just so cool. And they're almost like a resin, but I thought that bag, yes, Kim, I agree. And I think that's what it's for. I think it's like a yarn sewing bag, but yeah, I love it because a lot of the ones that I have like the wood, like where they stand up on like a little wood base. And this one is it's just a bag. I love it. Couple little pieces. I haven't Google Lens these or anything, but I always pick up little things that I just think are very pretty, things that I would put in my own home. This one I'll probably save for my booth for Christmas. I also have a Christmas market here in my barn, and then I'm doing like an outside, like at another school. I signed up for my very first vendor market. That's a big indoor one mid-November. So I do need a lot of Christmas. Plus, if you own a booth, like I go to my booth once a week and I refresh after the weekend every week because it gets crazy in there. But during the holidays, I'm there 2 times a week, sometimes 3, because you're just constantly refilling. This is a Chris Madden. I have a couple of these. I found this single big one. This one will go to my booth because I don't think it's worth enough really to put in the online space. And again, it would be pretty in my booth for fall, and I can price it inexpensive enough for someone to just grab it. This one I probably will put online, but then put it in my booth next summer if it doesn't sell. But how cute is this cherry pie plate? And I don't know if that's vintage or just a reproduction. I just thought it was cute. These will go online. These are a set of vintage 90s, so Starlight, Star Bright. They're just like illumination. They're just ornaments. But they're brand new in the box. I got them at a garage sale. Those I'll put online. I'm going to also put her online. I got her at a garage sale brand new for $1, never opened. And this is the Victorian Elegance Barbie. Awesome when I can find it in the box. Most of the time I will not buy Barbies or dolls unless they're in the box. And this I actually picked up. In fact, if you watch my latest thrift haul from Goodwill, I picked this up at Goodwill. It's an 11-piece nativity set. And when I opened it, all the pieces were there and they were all in excellent condition. So this one I won't put in my booth because I don't trust people to not like lose a piece, drop a piece, mess up the set somehow, rearrange it. This one will be photographed and put online. In fact, I need to do that soon. It's mid-August, which means that, Halloween should be online. Actually, let me tell you this. If you have Halloween or Christmas, it should be online year round. But if you are just like hoarding stuff and waiting, put it on there now. I sell Christmas year round. I actually sell a lot of Christmas in January, even though it's not discounted. Halloween sells year round. If you have any of that stuff, don't wait for the seasonal months. Just put it online. People celebrate Christmas and Halloween year round nowadays, and if they find it, they'll buy it. Okay, I also found this cool salt box. This will go in my booth, and I got to clean it out, but it's got like it's got the metal scoop in there too, which I thought was fun. Things that are not so vintage that I will still pick up are any kind of a cloche. This one is really fun. I think I'll probably end up stacking this with some leaves and pumpkins in there that are very neutral and put like a little bow. And here's the thing, if you just take this and you set it in your booth, someone might be like, oh, cute. But they'll say, I'm not going to buy it though, because I don't know what I would do with it. So it's important when you're selling things that display things that you display them for them so they know exactly what to do with it once they get home. Or in my case, they will take and they will buy, a lot of shoppers will buy the whole thing and just say, I want this whole thing the way it is because I'm going to put it right in my house that way. Oh man, I feel like I still have so much more, and I do have some. I mean, look at all my stuff I need to go through. It's crazy. All right, so I'm out here working today. I'm going to be cleaning, photographing, getting a bunch of stuff in my Etsy shop. I do have my Etsy link there in my YouTube. I think that's it. So thank you for hanging out with me for my very first YouTube live. I'm sorry, I'm just sweating like a pig because Michigan decided to give us like one of the hottest, most humid summers it has in a long time. And even though it's not super late in the day, I'm sweating. So welcome. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for my first YouTube live. I plan to do many more of these now that I have enough followers here on YouTube to do this. This was super fun. And if you see something that you liked, please comment or message me, or just comment and tell me what your favorite thing was from the haul today, and what is maybe on your thrift wish list that you're looking for. All right, bye and happy